I'd like to start off by welcoming the old Lucas Tracy fans. Welcome, welcome. I'm gonna go straight into this. The main event. Main event. Well, kind of. The main card, We'll get to the main event. And, yeah. My predictions. The Lejingliang versus Carlos Prates. I think Carlos. I think he could TKO the Leech. Mainly because. Daniel Rodriguez beat the Leech, so I'm not. It was what it was, That was literally like the last time the Leech has fought. He has not fought in a long time. Carlos Prates, he looks dangerous. His kick game is crazy. And, I think he's going to be able to keep him at range. The Leech not going to be able to do anything. And I think he might get outclassed. We could see a TKO. I'm going to go with a TKO in the second round, with the Leech maybe being able to get Carlos up against the cage, hold him up against the cage. That might be his best bet. I don't think he'll even take him down, though. So, yeah, Prates, let's say like a knee to the head, I think is going to drop the Leech, so we'll see. But Carlos, yeah, I do like his kicks. He manages distance well. Good fighter. He seems good. He seems promising. Let's go up the fights because that's the only way we're going. Tuivasa versus Rozenstruik. I'm going to go with... You know what? It's not loading up their pictures. Who cares? I'm going with Tuivasa. He has lost his last 3 in a row, I believe. But... Jairzinho just seems too patient with me. I think he's gonna. Obviously, he could counter Tuivasa. I don't think he is. I could see Jairzinho being too patient, backing up, eats a lot of shots, gets dropped. First round TKO. Shoey time. Yeah, Tuivasa. I'm going with the first round knockout. And Rozenstruik. I don't hate him. It's just. I don't think he's that good. Alright, that's just it. And I'm not saying Tuivasa's a killer either. He's a brawler, and I think he's going to go in there and brawl. So, that's just how it is, man. Next fight. Mateusz Gamrot versus Dan Hooker. How many of you guys are actually fans of Gamrot? Let me know in the comments, because I'm sure it's not a lot of people. But I do think he's going to win, Dan Hooker, he's a solid fighter. Obviously, he never looked as good as he did after that Poirier fight. And I think he could start off good because, Gamrot might try to start off striking because he does strike a little bit. But once he gets into the flow after 30 seconds, Gamrot starts throwing and then mixing in the takedowns, and I think he'll be doing that throughout the fight. Even if he doesn't get the takedowns, I think he will get a few takedowns, but I think he's mainly going to be holding up Dan Hooker up against the cage. And if Hooker doesn't get out of there, I could see Gamrot winning by decision in a boring fight, where maybe even Hooker has the better shots. He might land 1 or 2 big blows in the second round, so we give Hooker the second round, but I think Gamrot's going to end up winning, mainly by barely landing anything on the feet. And if he does land and not super clean, leading into takedowns a lot or takedown attempts. And yeah, that's how I see Gamrot fighting. So, next fight. Kai Kara-France versus Steve Erceg. It's not that I don't like Kai Kara-France. I don't think he's going to win. He's not really that great. He's an entertaining fighter. He's a quick little guy because he's small. But Steve Erceg, he's got hands, And Kai, he probably has better kicks, maybe. But Steve Erceg, I think, is just going to piece the shit out of Kai. I could see a dominant decision for Steve Erceg. maybe even potentially finishing him in the third round, you know. I'm not going to count on it, though. I'm going to go with Steve Erceg, unanimous decision, winning every single round. Obviously, in the boxing range, mainly. And, you know, Kai might try to get some range, get some kicks, throw some strikes in there. I think Steve Erceg's going to be defensively too good. He's not going to get hit with anything too clean. And he's going to be landing a lot of clean punches on Kai Kara France. So, Steve Erceg, unanimous decision. Let's go to the main fight, the main card. You guys saw Adesanya cry. Man, that's a little embarrassing. And on my channel before, I have shitted on Adesanya, but I am a fan of his fighting, alright? I do like how he fights most. I can't say most. Yeah, more often than not, you know. The only times I didn't really like his performances were the second Vettori fight and the Cannonier fight. Oh, wow, of course, the Yoel Romero fight. Damn. Okay, so but the Cannonier and the second Vettori fight, they weren't that boring. It's just that Adesanya was a lot better and he wasn't going after the kill. Maybe because he was scared to, obviously, you know, it's a fucking fight. But Adesanya is a great fighter, nonetheless. Duplessis is a trash, technical, no technique kind of fighter versus Adesanya, a straight up technique kind of fighter. And whenever these fights occur, the non-technical guy fights a amazingly technical guy, you know, it's always usually the technical master that wins. And, you know, like, you guys could say some stuff like, well, I mean, he beat Whitaker, even though Whitaker's also technically a lot better than Duplessis. But, like, let's be honest, guys. Adesanya is way more technical than Robert Whitaker. His footwork is better. He manages distance better, even though he doesn't have that dash in there super fast. He doesn't need a dash in there super fast. He could just throw a kick faster than a Robert Whitaker dash, you know? And I think Adesanya is going to keep at range, beat up on on Duplessis' leg, jab him a little bit. Duplessis is going to obviously have to bum rush a lot. When he does, I could see him getting countered. I could see him landing a couple times too, you know, trying to lead into takedowns. He can probably get a takedown or two throughout the fight. When he does, he's probably going to throw a lot of punches down there as Adesanya gets up, you know, doing no damage, but, you know, getting a lot of points by punching him a lot. It's going to be a close fight. You know, I think it's going to be a close fight. They both could knock each other out, but I'm not leaning towards a knockout. I think Adesanya might win a split decision here. Being the more technical guy, like I said, throughout the majority of the fight, I could see 1 or 2 rounds where Duplessis is bum rushing and he's having a little bit of success, not getting countered as much, and those being the rounds where like he gets the takedowns also. But I think, you know, for the most part, I think Adesanya is gonna be able to land a few significant strikes each round that might even wobble Duplessis. I don't know if he'll drop him, but I could see him getting head kicked. I could see him, you know, leaping into a 2, Adesanya being like a southpaw, you know, slipping with his own 2, yeah, stuff like that. I could see Adesanya countering and winning the majority of the fight, with Duplessis having moments as well and having the takedowns. But yeah, that's all I have to say about it. Duplessis won the press conference, of course. Adesanya, he doesn't really win those though. So let me know what you guys think about these fights coming up. I feel like most people are hating on Adesanya and are not going for him, but they're hating on him for personal reasons outside of the cage, whereas like inside of the cage, you guys can't lie. He's one of the greatest strikers that we've ever seen in the UFC. All right. So, yeah.